Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm making another car video. I do have the air on, so I apologize if there's some background noise, but I have a little bit of time, so I want to do the final Barcelo video. I will link all of our other ones down below. We went to the Barcelo Palace around Memorial Day. It was like the last week in May / first week in June. And we went with a party of 9. So it included my parents, my husband and son and I, my sister, brother-in-law, and their 2 kids. We did go to this exact same resort 5 years ago, and then 10 years ago we went to the Barcelo, but we stayed at the Tropical Resort instead of the Palace one. So here's just kind of some pros and cons, keeping in mind that we have been to different all-inclusives in Mexico. Yeah, let's go through them. So let's start with some pros. The checkout was very easy. It was very fast. We were going to be picked up around 10, so around 9. My family of 3 went and checked out. It was super easy. It was super fast. And then they give you a slip, and you can actually stay. She said you could stay on property until 5. So if you wanted to get, sorry, I need to adjust here. If you wanted to get a drink or get breakfast or something, or lunch or dinner, that would be possible with that slip. So that's something that's really nice to have. I would say overall, the staff was nice. They are not going to initiate a good morning or an hola or a hello. If you say that to them, they will respond. Overall, the bartenders were fantastic. Overall, like the wait staff was nice. I would say overall the staff, like 8.5 out of 10. I will say, and we're headed back to the Valentine. Actually, when you see this, we're already back. My parents just went to the Valentine last year, and my mom was like at the Valentine, like every person you see says hello. Like you don't have to initiate everything. So yeah, but I mean, gosh, they're working so hard. Okay. I would say overall the food was pretty good. We were there for 7 days. I don't think the breakfasts ever changed. The lunches didn't change really either, but we really liked the lunch food. Breakfast food was kind of hit or miss. And overall the dinner food was pretty good. We did the buffet every night except for one. We went to the hibachi grill. Justin and my brother-in-law and my parents actually went to the Barcelo one time. Sorry, I'm meeting friends and I'm trying to see if that's, no, that's not them. Okay. But otherwise we went to the buffet, and it was overall good food. I know people complain about buffet food. They want things fresh cooked. They have a ton of stations where you can get things freshly made. They have like meat carving stations at dinner and that type of thing. So I would say overall the food is good. Room service is not included. You can order room service. We did not. There's a charge per item, I think, but don't remember what it is. I would say the room was definitely something that I appreciated. The bathroom was really big. There was a bathtub as well as a shower, as well as a water closet, and lots of counter space with double sinks. There was a little seat. I guess you could use it as a vanity, but like the mirror would have been too high, so that was kind of strange. So much storage. We had 2 full closets with shelves, drawers, places to hang things. And then there were more drawers under like the place where you can put your luggage. And then there was like a desk area, so much room. We had a king size bed, but then every room also has like 2 kind of couches. They're built in, and once our housekeeping staff saw that Reese was sleeping on one the first night, she turned it into a bed by like adding like a sheet, like a fitted sheet, and then a flat sheet and a blanket, pillow. The balconies were very large. We had 2 pretty big floaties. They fit out there just fine with all of our snorkel stuff and swim stuff and all of that kind of thing. If you want to see the stuff that we took, go back and watch our packing video. But yeah, overall the room was great in terms of size and storage and temperature. Now, of the 3 rooms that our group used, ours was the coolest, I guess. And yes, I always ran my little personal fan at night. But overall the temperature was really good in our room. Okay, some not so greats. Groups. This was around high school graduation time, and I don't think this has happened before. Maybe I just remember, but I don't think this has been happening before. There were 5 or 6 probably over the week we were there, large groups of people who had graduated high school. So it was like their graduation party. And like we talked to one of them, don't remember where they were from, somewhere in the South, and there were 38 students and 10 parents. So you can drink when you're 18 in Mexico. So a lot of them, and it's all inclusive, they were just obnoxious. And I'm so sorry to say that. That might sound like ageist, but I mean, if you are an 18-year-old and you're celebrating graduating high school with a lot of your best friends and you're drinking in an environment where drinking is unlimited, I think it's going to happen. So that was kind of annoying. And then the other thing with groups is we were a group of 9. And when we would go into a restaurant and we would ask for a table of 9, you would have thought we were asking for a table of 50. Like, we were told sometimes, like, oh, that's not possible. And we're like, well, could we just, you don't have to do anything. Can we just pull some tables together? No, can't. No, impossible. Now, we would walk down to the Tropical for their like beachside lunch place every day. And I think day 2, my dad made friends with the manager and tipped him. And so then that manager would be much more accommodating. But when we would walk in, if he was not right there, again, they'd be like, no, we can't do it. So what we started doing was we'd ask for a table for 8, because that was tricky but possible. And then one of us would just like hang back in like the bathroom, and then we'd just be like, oh, this person's gonna join us. So, oh, my phone's getting hot. It's really hot here in Nebraska, so I hope that we make it through here. So I would just like them to be more accommodating for parties of 9. Again, we weren't 12, 15, 20. And sometimes we were just like, that's fine, you can split us up. But sometimes we wanted to eat all together. Like, it's a family trip. Like, we went to eat all together. So that was frustrating. It is a huge resort. So if you've seen my other videos, there's a loud car driving by. There's the Palace where we stayed. There's the Tropical, Colonial, Caribe, and Beach. And then there's the adults only. And I don't think they probably, I mean, we couldn't access their resort. And I don't think they probably accessed ours because they probably want to just be with adults only. Oh, a motorcyclist. That's what's so noisy. Anyway, it is a really, really big resort. Now, Justin and I have stayed at a very small resort before. And I don't know that I like really small, but this is huge. I will say it's pretty accessible. If you saw our tour, you saw that they have ramps and they have elevators and that type of thing. And they do have buses that will take you in between the resorts, but it's big. Like, it's big, y'all. Now, I won't say it ever really felt crowded anywhere, but just be prepared that it's big. The restaurant situation, I think people like the Barcelo, a big resort, is going to advertise they have a lot of restaurants, which is true. That's true. The problem is getting reservations for restaurants. A reservation for 9, because apparently it's the largest group they've ever had in the whole world. So we checked in on a Sunday. Monday morning, my sister and parents went to the concierge, and they were able to get a reservation for 4 for the Brazilian steakhouse, and we didn't need more than 4. There were only 4 people that were interested. And then a reservation at 5:30 for 9 at the Hibachi, which is, I think it's at like officially the Tropical. So the restaurants, they might have a lot, but it might be tricky to get into them. So just know that going into it. And our experience at the Hibachi wasn't, I'd give it like a 5, 6 out of 10. It was really warm in there. Our guy was not super entertaining. There was no volcano. There was no flipping of anything in anyone's mouths. Yeah, it was good tasting, but we kind of knew that, and that was why we didn't really rush to get resort or restaurant reservations anyway. Finally, my biggest negative is the check-in. And I've seen this in comments before. We were the first, there was no line when we got there to check in. And all 3 of us went to check in at the same time because it was under my dad's name, 3 rooms. It took a full hour. The lobby is open, so there is not air conditioning and there is no airflow. And I do not do well with the heat. There's a name for it, and I can't think of it right now because it's kind of warm in here. But I do pass out if I get too warm. And I know the signs and symptoms. I can tell when it's going to happen, and so I haven't actually passed out for years because I kind of know when it's coming, and as long as I can get myself to a different place, it's okay. But at one point, I just said, I have to go sit down. And there are a lot of benches if you saw our tour, and so I sat down, I put my head between my knees. I just needed fan. My mom was able to get a bottle of water. I don't know where that came from. So I put that on the back of my neck and I was able to cool down. And I know most people, checking into a resort should never take that long. It just shouldn't. It just shouldn't take that long. And if it's going to, You need to have a place to sit. Again, I hate to harp on it, but the Valentine, their lobby is air conditioned. You check in at a desk, sitting down in a chair with a cool drink. They did give us tequila and apple juice, so I guess they gave us a drink when we got there, but it just shouldn't take, there's just no reason that it should take that long, you know. And there's things we had to just sign. Okay, now sign this, now fill out this. Now we can do that before. You have a pre-checkout form for me, I will sign everything that I'm not stealing beach towels or robes. I will put a credit card on file for any incidentals and room service. Like, I will do that. Let me know beforehand, and let's move checkout to be, honestly, 10-15 minutes max. And it did take us about an hour. So anyway, those are overalls my pros and cons for the Barcelo Palace specifically. Having been there now twice, and at the Barcelo 3 times overall. If you have any questions, leave them below. Leave them below. It's getting warm. It's hot. Leave them below. Jess and I are in real time about to head to Valentine. In your time, we're back from the Valentine. So look for those videos to come out. If you have any questions, leave them below, and I will do my best to answer them. Bye.